What's going on, my brothers and sisters? So, it started at home. We've all heard that term before. It starts at home, start at the house. You know what I mean? And the biblical version of that, or the scripture version of that, is Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and even when they're old, he will not depart from it. That's the scripture or biblical version of it start at the house. And that's what we have to keep in mind as parents when we out here with these children and raising these children out here to go out here in the world with other children and other people. Is that it starts with us. It starts with how we raise them. It starts with what we do at home, how we bring them up, how we teach them, how we guide them as parents. You know what I mean? Like, especially those of us that got sons, teenage sons, and because we got to understand what's going on out there. Violence is at an all-time high here. A lot of it is being committed by our sons, our nephews, our little cousins, our little friends. Like we know, who's committing these crimes and what's the root cause of a lot of these crimes getting committed by these young ones. And it starts at home. We're not being very good parents. It's time to go be old school like our parents used to be, at least my parents. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, like when I was growing up, around high school age, we would, having little parties or get-togethers or gatherings, stuff we used to do back in the day at that age. My mama wouldn't let me go, man, if she didn't talk to your mama, if she didn't know your mama, have a rapport, relationship with your parents. If she couldn't call them, then she wouldn't allow me to go. And I remember one time in particular when we was in high school, around 9th to 10th grade, wanted to go to this little party. And some of y'all that are friends with me and follow me from that era, you remember this. And my mom wouldn't let me go until she talked to the person's parents who was throwing that little get together, and she did, and she allowed me to go. But it was so embarrassing when I got there because everybody knew that, man, your mom called, And it wasn't until I got older, until I had children of my own, what my mother was doing, what she was trying to protect me from. She was trying to protect me from potential violence of me, whether that's me committing violence or violence being committed to myself, or me going out there doing something stupid because I'm out there with a group of kids or a group of people that she wouldn't approve of. And the reason why you should do that as a parent is because you sending your kid, like you can raise your kid perfectly. Raise your kid biblically and like you should. Teach them about God and teach them about honoring their mother and their father and how, what the word and what the Father says, and send them out there in the world and they're with kids, their parents that didn't take those steps. So the reason why you say, you get to know the parents or know who your kids hang around is just to understand or have the understanding of you might be sending your children to someone else's home and their views and guidelines on how they raise their children go completely against what you stand for, completely against what you believe in. So that's why the term starts at home, or getting to know the parents and the people and the children that your children hang around. You know what I'm saying? It's you can't be friends with your kids, man. You got to be parents. And especially, like I said earlier, a lot of us that got sons, a lot of y'all done bought these sons cars and vehicles. Start going through these cell phones that y'all paying for. Start going through these cars that y'all buy them and y'all paying a note on. Because you might go in there and find them firearms. You might go in there and find something that will save your child's life if you find it early enough before they get killed out here, or kill somebody, or rob somebody, or shoot somebody, all because you didn't want to be nosy. You didn't want to be inconvenient, to your child. Keep that in mind, man. Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go. You can only do that if you know how you should go and how to raise a child. It started at home, man. It started in that word. Y'all know me and what I talk about, man. Everything's going to lead back to a scripture. Everything's going to lead back to the word. Because that's the times we living in. We in the times now where everything should be scripture-based. Everything, your mind should be set on the kingdom and nothing else. Because all this is going to go away. All this is temporary. It's on its way out. So, keep that in mind, man. Like I said, especially those of us that are parents. You gotta be more involved in your kids' life, man. Time to be nosy. Get on their nerves. Go through the phone. Go through their social medias. Go through them DMs. Go through them text messages. Because you might find something that might save one of your child's life, or a friend, or a family, a friend or a family member. But you might prevent something very, very tragic. So let's go out here and let's be parents. You know what I'm saying? And us as parents, as adults, let's dive into this word so we can understand the word. so we can get our life right before things get very, very chaotic and there's no turning back. And if we can do that, then we can pass that knowledge and that information and that wisdom on to our children. Hence, train them the way should they go. So when they become old, they will not depart from it. When they become old, they raise their children to do the same. And now you're playing a huge role in eliminating the generational curses that we all talk about, that we all like to talk about. But it starts at home. It starts with you. It starts with me. So if we can keep that in mind and just understand, man, and sit your children down and explain to them, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm trying to protect you. You know, I'm not trying to clown you or embarrass you in front of your friends. I'm trying to save you. Because there's so many things it's so much stuff that you don't understand out here because you're a child and you have a child's mind. So there's certain things that you can't even comprehend. You're not mature enough. You haven't lived or experienced enough to understand what we are trying to protect you from as parents. You know, so you want to stop some of this violence. You want to stop, you want to prevent you or give yourself a very good chance of preventing you getting that phone call or the police knocking on your door saying that your child has been murdered, your child has been shot, your child has been arrested for committing a violent act. Dive in that word, pray without ceasing, and lead these children in the way that they need to go, man. Because we're raising a whole generation of fools, thugs, murderers, a whole generation of just sinful people. And they don't care. You know, so, you know, like I said, man, dive in that word, man, and let's try to raise a better generation of children. You know, and you know, my slogan, man, if I can only reach one person, hopefully this reach more than one person, especially the youth. You know, some of y'all that got kids, show this to your teenage sons, show this to your nephew, show this video, and let them know, man, it's more than out here than what's, you know, what social media is showing them every day, man, because they on a fast track to prison, fast track to the grave. God bless.